So we are starting the chapter called specific investment decisions. See, if you want to do investment, you definitely need to take some decisions uh, upon those investments. That means before doing an investment, you should decide whether the investment which you are doing on a particular project is more profitable in like investing on a particular project is more profitable than investing on some another project. Plus there are some other decisions even which come into picture. For example, I want to start a company. So now I can start the company by buying a land, constructing a building, factory, etc. And what is going to cost me on this, or if at all I leave a factory, I want to start a hotel. So I can do that by buying a complete premise as well as by taking the premise on lease. So here lease versus buy, these kind of things, okay, are going to crop up in this chapter. Secondly, first point is lease versus buy. The point number two, you have an asset which is already into your business. Now you want to replace it and want to buy a new one. So whether that decision of replacing the old asset with new asset is going to be a profitable one for you, because as you know, new machine which you are going to buy, you are going to buy it only because it may be more beneficiary for you. That means new machine would give you a proper productivity, would be technologically more advanced, sophisticated, and like it would reduce your cost, okay, of production. But the cost of buying that would be high. So these things even you need to consider. Point number three, your company may face some situations whereby company would be having shortage of funds and it is not easily available in the market even. So that point of time, or you have a limited capital. Suppose I have, what is rationing? Rationing is nothing but you see there are some ration shops. I hope you have an idea about the ration shop. Excuse me. Yeah. So we would see, like, these ration shops, they give provisions to people, but they give only limited provision. You cannot get abundance there. Okay. You cannot get some more quantity than what is to be given to you, what is kind of like prescribed for you, correct? Like if they give like 3 kgs of sugar, they get that much, and you need to manage your monthly needs with this 3 kg. Okay, so that is like when you have limited money. For example, I have only 1 lakh as capital. Now how efficiently I can use this to do my task efficiently? Okay, for example, I have a training center whereby I have 30 seats here, and if I take some courses whereby I only charge 500 rupees, so I get 15,000 per month. But if I take some courses, if I can take some courses which are like 2,000, costing 2,000, like 2,000 what is I've charged, so I can more properly earn 60,000. And here in this case, like I'm saying, if I can fill up the entire seating capacity of my academy, because I cannot expand my academy, I cannot renovate it and create more 30 seats, okay, because I have a constraint. I have like that much limit. Okay, that's what, how efficiently I can use. Let's go with the lease and buy decision. So these are the general concepts and basics of leasing. Leasing is nothing but a contract between a lessor and lessee, and they make a contract with each other, as per which lessor has to lease out the property to lessee, and he will pay the lease rent. Okay? So leasing, as like this is nothing but the same thing which I explained to you. Lessor is the owner and lessee has the asset in the possession. These are the examples of lessors: banks, insurance companies. They have multiple properties. They give it for rentals. They have this, like they own them, and they lease this office equipment, computers, commercial vehicles like a ship and building. See, banks, why they lease? See, if you want to buy a apartment, so for this you need to pay 50 lakhs, and there you pay the 10 lakhs as equity and 40 lakhs you take a loan. So this loan which you take from bank is nothing but by giving this property title deeds to bank. Okay, here what you're doing is you are kind of selling this. Okay, selling this to bank, fine, and taking 40 lakhs. Okay, now you need to buy this back. Okay, this you're selling, this is sale. Okay, and now you need to buy back, you need to pay them 45 lakhs, that is inclusive of interest. This is buyback. So sale and buyback agreement between you and bank, and this property is kind of it is like a lease. Okay, you are using this property for 30 years, because 30 years is the loan term. Okay, so now till 30 years the property will be used by you until the time you pay them the lease rental, and after 30th year, when the last maturity date comes, you have the option of buying the property. So it's like sale and lease back, or it's like I can say this property was like lease with you. Yes, it was. Same things insurance company do, because LIC also has a housing finance company, NBFC, non-banking finance company, and they also do this kind of things, and they finance all these equipments and the assets what are mentioned there. See, what is the benefit with lease? Leases that minimize the risk to the lessee. See, if you take a apartment, you take an apartment. If you take an apartment, like by your own money, you put your entire money into that. Okay, and that money you would have invested somewhere else. Or if you want to take a commercial establishment, you put your entire money into this, and when you put this entire money into this, you start a showroom or shop, whatever. You do it by conducting a survey and all. But if that doesn't work and that doesn't give you proper profits, then you are into losses. And whatever the 1 crore rupees what you put into this for buying this particular asset, you think that instead of this I would have taken on lease. If I would have not if I would have incurred losses and all, I would have given the property back to the lesser. That means this happens in the operating lease case. Okay, so there the expense of leasing would have also been less. Okay, and you would have paid a monthly rental. Okay, that is easily manageable. Okay, if you don't understand and if it is running in losses, you can definitely give back the asset to the lessor. So that would have been a good thing. That would have reduced your finance cost, that is interest on loan. And as if you have taken the property on lease, you can claim deduction on that. Here also you can claim deduction. Same benefits you have on both the expenses. Lease rental is a business expense, deductible. Interest is a finance expense, deductible. Both are taken for the business purpose, correct? Now, but this would have been a cheaper option than buying. So some leases, often short-term leases, are rental agreements, which I said you right now, between lessor and lessee. You see, if you are in a rented apartment, that is made for 11 months, and after that again they will change, they will again make a fresh agreement, correct? So short-term agreements, so that are structured to the so that the lessor retains most of the risk of ownership. That is, lessor is responsible for servicing and maintaining the leased equipment. Yes, now you are in an apartment, for example, and that's a rented out apartment. So what happens? The lessor, the owner of that house, anything happens to the house, he would maintain and service it, correct? Because the house is not sold to you, it is his property, he has to do that, and you are paying the rental for that. So risk of ownership is also minimized for the lessee, because if there is a change in technology, then the lessee can exit from rental agreement and at the end the lease term, and is therefore not tied into using assets that are technologically out of date. So that means if I take out the apartment case, if you are using some machine, that machine is kind of, suppose you are into aviation, so your company's name is SpiceJet. So this you have leased, you have kind of taken some aircrafts on lease, okay, and those are Boeing aircrafts. So you are paying rental to the company which has given you this on lease. So what happens if this is outdated? Easily you can stop giving rentals to them and hire another aircraft which is of good technology. Leases that are purely a source of finance. Some leases are long-term arrangements. I already told you that transfer the risk and reward of ownership of an asset to the lessee. If you've taken apartment on sale and lease back agreement with the bank, sale lease back or sale buyback. So in that case, the apartment is with you, and you are maintaining it. There's no ownership of anyone. It's just the bank which is a part owner of that asset, not the full owner. You also have some stake in that. So in that case, you need to take care of your property. Okay, these are agreements between lessee and lessor for most of all of the assets expected useful life, 30 years. So what do you expect more than this? The lessee is responsible for upkeeping, servicing and maintenance of the asset. This can be a cheaper source of finance than a bank loan. If the lessor, see, if you go for a housing loan, that is at the rate of 6.8% right now. If you go for a personal loan and buy that apartment or property, it's going to cost you 16%. It's very, very costly, correct? Hello? Anything you want to tell me? Any doubts? Okay. So that would costed you 16% if you take a personal loan and buy that particular property. So this is cheaper, way cheaper. And if the lessor buys a large quantity of assets like aircraft and obtains bulk purchase discounts as a result. So if you take an aircraft right now by financing, by getting it financed through a bank as per the sale and leaseback agreement, you get good discounts. Even you save a lot of money with discounts. Okay, now, and even such discounts can be shared with lessee in the form of lower rental payments. That means if I got a discount of some dollars that I divide in 30 years, I got a discount of 10 lakh, I divide in 30 years and divide it monthly. So monthly, if it is reducing 5,000 rupees for me, in what amount I am paying, that is a saving, correct? Suppose the apartment which I am buying, if I pay them upfront, they gave me a 2 lakh rupees discount. This I can just take monthly thing, and I can say in 30 years at least monthly 500 rupees I'm saving, for example. Okay, now I already explained about the sale and lease back thing. Yeah, attractions of leasing. The supplier of the equipment is paid in full at the beginning. The equipment is sold to the lessor. See what happens, see, supplier of the equipment, the one who is supplying the equipment, is paid full in the is paid in full at the beginning. the equipment is given to lessor, and other than guarantees, the supplier has no further financial concern about the asset. Okay. So this particular equipment what the lessor has taken from the supplier, he has taken on what basis? Maybe he has also got it financed from a bank, okay, and he would lease out to some other person as a sublease. You know, there's also some sublease kind of thing. That is, if A has taken the B has taken the property from A on lease and he has leased out to this guy. It can happen like that. So supplier of the equipment is paid in full at the beginning, and the equipment is sold to the lessor, and other than guarantees, supplier has no further financial concern about the asset. Lessor invests finance by purchasing assets from suppliers and makes a return out of the lease payments from the lessee. So what this guy has got this particular thing from A on lease, he pays him 5,000 for example, and he collects 7,000 from him. Okay, so this guy is making 2,000 rupees. Correct? This is what easily I can explain you. Leasing may be advantages for lessee. We have already discussed about all these things. Why? Because he can claim deduction on lease until what is paying, and it can be cheaper than taking a loan. Okay, no processing fees, no interest, anything, and even he doesn't even need to care about maintenance and all if it's an operating lease, short-term lease. Now lease or buy decisions. Now let's go into the example even. Let us see. See, the decision whether to lease or buy an asset is a financing decision, of course, which interacts with the investment decision to buy the asset. Yeah, see, if I have to lease a property or if I need to buy, I need to see which is better. I need to see which is a better one, correct? So what happens here is, if I need to lease or buy, that attracts some finance. I'm thinking about the finance thing, okay? So and taking a asset is kind of investment decision, correct? So here the two things are interacting. So assumption is that the preferred financing method should be the one with lower present value of cost. See, I have to see which is giving me a lower present value, okay, of the cost which I'm going to bear either if I take a property on lease or I buy. So which one is going to give me the lesser amount or going to give me a least cost? I would go for that option. Okay, so we identify the least cost financing option by comparing the cash flows of purchasing and leasing. Either purchasing is cheaper or leasing is cheaper. We will discuss that one right now and see which is a better one. We'd go for that. So how to go about this? Instead of all this theory, let us see good questions. Okay, so here we are discussing about lease versus buy, whether leasing is good or cheaper, whether borrowing is good or cheaper. Just make a general assumption. Leasing is you are paying rental, no burden or headache of taking a loan from bank, no processing fees, and no paying of interest and all. See, now something would come to your mind. See, I went for a housing loan, and see, that is also kind of leasing only, na? Leasing only. That's like you are taking a housing loan and your property is with the bank. So your EMI comes out to 30,000, and the rental what you are paying is 25,000. But this rental would increase every year if you are not into this. But your EMI would be fixed for 30 years. This may become 40,000 after 15 years, but this is fixed. So now you need to see what is a better option for you, correct? Now, let's take an example. Brown company has decided to invest in a new machine. Okay, he wants to invest, which has a 10-year life and no scrap value, leftover value. The machine can either be purchased now for 50,000 or it can be leased out for 10 years. See, today's cost of buying the machine is, present value is this much. Correct or wrong? Please tell me yes or no, all of you. Hello?
Yes, sir.
This is the present value of the machine today if you want to buy. If you would lease the machine, you are paying a rental of 8,000 per annum. Okay, and that you would pay at the end of the year. And you would take the machine for lease for 10 years because it has a 10-year life. And what is the interest rate or the cost of capital in the market? 9%. Okay. Now you would find out, because the rental which you are going to pay to the lessor is 8,000, you are going to pay that in the future, that is at the end of the year 1, at the end of the year 2, at the end of the year 3. So this is going to be the future value. Can you find out the present value of this today? And since it is a fixed payment every year, we will do the annuity of this, correct or wrong?
Yes, sir.
So the annuity of 9%, the present value annuity factor at the rate of 9% for 10 years is 6.418. From the table you can check it. And the rental what you are paying is 8,000. That happens to be 51,344. This is the present value of lease, which is a higher amount, the present value of lease. So what is better to do? To buy it is better, correct?
Yeah.
You are incurring lease cost now if you buy the asset today.
Yeah.
Rather than leasing it out. So just check this question, very simple question, and tell me if you have any doubts. I'll explain you. Are we good to go forward?
Yes, sir.
This is an example with taxation, whereby tax you can claim deduction or even on depreciation of the asset or leasing cost, correct? There can be a tax saving. So whatever the expenses you incur for your business, you can claim deduction on that, correct? Let's see.
Yes.
Read the question. Read this. Read this. Now, see, Malin and Mullins has decided to install a new milling machine. They want to install it. Machine's cost is this. This is the cash outflow, okay? And it would have a useful life of 5 years. The scrap value is 4,000 at the end of 5th year. Very simple question. So now they are kind of seeing a decision now has to be taken on method of financing the project, whether they have to lease it or buy it. Company could purchase the machine for cash using bank loan facilities on which the current rate of interest is 13% before tax, correct? If they buy the asset right now, they can take a loan at the rate of 13%, okay? And they could even lease. See, I'm telling you one thing, please understand. For buying that asset, you need to pay an interest of 13%. And if you lease the asset, you're going to pay a rental of 4,800. That is understood fact, fixed
Yeah.
payment. Now, rate of tax is 30%. If the machine is purchased, company can claim tax deduction on depreciation or tax depreciation allowance or shield, whatever you say, that to 100% in the first year. Okay, first year itself you can claim 100% deduction, and tax is payable with a year's delay. You pay in arrears. Shall we go ahead now? So we would now do some adjustment to our discount rate, correct? What we would do is we would take after discount cost of borrowing. What we'll do? See, instead of taking that amount for like 13% interest, see, For example, if I have a 10,000, this 10,000, the interest what I'm paying is 13%. That is 1300, and 1 minus 0.30. So how much it is coming out? Tell me. 1300, 70%. Tell me how much it is. Can I say 9,100? Please tell me. 13 sevens are 91. Why are you calculating now? Instead, got it, all of you?
Yes, sir.
Yeah, instead of all this, adjust the cost of capital, make your things easier. So 13% into 70%, that is like 1 minus 30 would give you 9.1. You can take roughly 9%. Okay, so here we are. How much is the cost of the equipment? 20,000. This is what you have paid. First year, nothing would be discounted. That is on the inception. How would you discount? You cannot discount. And what's the scrap value of that? 4,000, which you are getting in the fifth year, correct? And you would sell it at 4,000, correct? And this is the, if you want to see the present value of that today, it is 2,600, discounted at 9%. Please tell me yes or no. This is what you are seeing if you want to buy the asset. What is the cost? What is the NPV you are checking? See, lease versus buy, which gives me a positive NPV. Okay, I need to check because here I cannot see the cost. Here I need to, I have a lot of things to do. I can claim deduction on depreciation and all. So what we will do is the present value of purchase cost is how much, and what are we going to get the cash inflows. That even we need to check, correct or wrong?
Yes, sir.
Hello? Hello?
Yes, sir.
So this is what is your outflow and what are your inflows. All these things you need to take into consideration, correct? So this is your outflow. You're getting the value when you sell the asset. You get 4,000. The present value of that today is 2,600, and you can claim deduction 100%. Am I right? In the in the in the first year itself, you can claim deduction, as I said. Tax depreciation allowance of 100% in year one, but you pay taxes in arrears. So next year you'd get the benefit, correct, when you pay the taxes. So second year, am I right? All of you, hello?
Yes.
Yeah. So the amount is 6,000. That is 20,000 asset value into 30% tax rate, and you are finding the present value of that even. This is like discounting at the rate of 9% for 2 years. And the balancing charge, I don't want to explain this because I have already explained this balancing charge in the previous chapter. So balancing charge 30% into 4,000. Okay, so that is like 1,200. So yeah, what is this balancing charge?
So it's on the scrap value.
Yeah, no, we have also discussed this in the previous chapters. Okay, that is what at the end, what you're getting at the end, that is the scrap value. Okay, so balancing charge we even did somewhere else. Where is that question? So in the last year, at the end of the 5th year, so the machine and it would have a useful and trading value of this at the end of 5th year. This 20,000 is what we have spent, and this is what we are going to get at the last year. So 16, okay. Okay. And this we need to see what this one, like when we sell the asset, what we are going to get, and on
4,000.
this we need to pay taxes.
Yeah.
So we are paying taxes on that. So this tax what we are paying is 1200. So whenever you sell something, if you get some cash inflow, that has to be the tax has to be paid to the government. Okay, if it's a legal transaction, almost. So here we are so this we got the present value, and since it's a outflow, we are paying taxes, net of tax we got the amount. So this is what your NPV is, 13,063, correct? Now we are seeing the leasing. You take the leasing 1 to 5 years, annuity factor, present value, and then savings in the tax 30%. So you pay taxes in arrears, and this is deductible, correct or wrong?
Yes, sir.
4800 ka 30% is how much? 140, 1440.
Yeah. Yeah, sir.
And this is like you need to do the working note and find out the factor for this annuity factor. 6 years cumulative is this. From that you need to remove the first year, and you need to take from 2 to 6 years, so that you get this. We have already done such kind of question. So this is the NPV of leasing. So what do you say? The cheaper option is what? 13,063 when compared to 13,533. Correct or wrong?
Yeah.
You're getting minus. I don't understand how does it that is the cheapest option. 13,063 is bigger than 13,533 negative amount, right?
Yeah.
This is cheaper, na?
No, sir, it's negative because we are spending it. Yeah, otherwise the NPV it's nominal.
See, minus 2, minus 1, which is bigger? This is bigger. So this is smaller. Okay, so this is smaller. So this is cheaper, na? What, correct or wrong?
No, sir. Actually, the NPVs will be negative because we are going to spend, right? If it's leasing or borrowing, both we are spending. But otherwise, if we see in normal terms, 13,063 should be opted.
How? See, today I am checking the cost of both of them. Just a second. If it is negative, then it is negative. That's it. So this is, if I get negative, I need to reject both of them actually, but I need to see what is the option. Okay, alternative method is, this is even better than that if I have to see. Why? We can do the single calculation. See, what is the equipment, how much you are spending? This much you are spending, na? If you buy.
Yes, yes, sir.
But if you don't buy, you save this. You save this or not?
Yes, sir.
You save this, correct?
Yeah.
And if you see saved equipment cost, if you don't buy, there is no trading, correct? See, if you have bought this and sold it on fifth year, you would have got this, but this is lost now.
Yeah.
Please tell me.
Yes, sir.
and even this also you lost.
Yeah.
Lost tax savings, correct?
Yeah, sir.
So what is that now? Lost tax savings from allowances, 6,000. Because uh, if you would have bought that, you would have claimed deduction, that tax allowable depreciation, but you are losing it. Fine, correct or wrong? You are not putting this, so where will you get all this? You will not get.
Yeah.
So this is what lost in trade in value. This is what you lost in savings. But I am not able to understand this. Acha, balancing charge would not exist at all. Okay, there is no balancing charge at all now. Now, what is the lease payment? You have this 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Okay, and you pay taxes. You get deduction in arrears because you pay taxes in arrears. What is the net inflow? You're getting this one. These are the net amounts, correct?
Yeah.
And when you discount it, you're getting a negative NPV for this. So negative NPV, of course, says what?
That we shouldn't accept the project.
Purchasing is better than leasing, correct?
Yeah.
So here I am just skeptical about something. 13,063 would come when we see negative 0, -1, -2. This is a bigger value which comes before. This is a higher value. Don't know, like I don't know negative NPV they are showing, but they are showing this is good. So what we have got understood is this is a better option at the end, correct?
Yeah.
Now let us do something, whether see some note they have given or not. Hmm. I think they have given some examiner's note. Okay, okay. Okay, fine, fine. So here they have done a reverse treatment. Cost they are showing us saving, and other things they are showing us they are not getting. Okay, fine. All right, this is all right. But we will see some question in the kit whether they are also kind of having a disputed thing here. So accordingly, if you see negative values, this is more cheaper than this. Actually, when we see both are worse. Okay, fine. Let me check this one in the kit whether they have given some note or not. Okay. So till here we have done. Tomorrow we'll continue from here. Position of lesser. Tomorrow I will finish this chapter. Okay. Tomorrow, can we take the class in the morning, 11:30 to 1?
Okay, sir.
Yeah, because
No,
tomorrow
no. Sir, we have exams from tomorrow actually.
what time?
We'll be having it from 9:30 to 1.
Acha. Okay, then be ready for the class at 2 p.m. tomorrow.
Okay, sir.
2 to 3, 3:30 I will take this class and I will finish this chapter. Okay. Because introduction is almost done, na? I
Yeah.
need to just finish. So tomorrow this would be done. This section is done. Only we need to do this two like thoroughly and
Yeah.
interest rate. Okay. Okay, let's do the class tomorrow at 2 p.m. Fine. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you. Yeah, yeah.